All right, let's do this. It is Saturday, March 28th. Let's take a look at the miners, gold and silver. This is gonna be pretty. It's been a horrible month. Starting with Agnico Eagle Mines. Now it did print a new historic high, 255, but we have a monstrous drop of 23% on the month. Look, whether the month settles with a bearish engulfing candle, it really doesn't matter. That's a horrible drop. Momentum is starting to roll over. Bearish. First Majestic Silver. Look at this. 35.4% down. Again, does it really matter whether it settles a month in the 19s, 19s, 20s? It doesn't matter. And the last time we saw a candle like that was there and there. And arguably it was another one around here. But the last two times we went down for 3 years in both instances. And I know the silver and gold people don't want to hear that, but that's how it is. And look at the frequency as well. It's interesting frequency here, right? Isn't that interesting? I think it is. Bearish. Anglo Gold Ashanti. New historic high this month. That is a bearish engulfing candle down 29%. Horrible. What are we looking at here? I mean, basic target would be the 43s over here. That's it's over 50% down. Barrick mining. 23.9%. Again, bearish engulfing candle. Momentum started to roll over. I mean, you got to think 27's basic target. Core mining down 36.9%. Testing the 10 MA. That can't be expected to hold. 12s, 11s. That looks pretty easy. DRD gold down 27%. There's a subtle spike from a 10 MA, but considering the main market, considering gold and silver, you're going to think, what are we going to come back down to? 17s look pretty easy. And you could certainly argue for the 12s by later this summer or early fall. Bearish DRD. Endeavor Silver, another monstrous drop, down 36%. I mean, this is bad, right? It's a horror show. And the gold bugs, the minor bugs, they're all in denial about it. New stock high for Franco Nevada, but again, 16.5% down. Net bearish into April, May, at least. Goldfields down 25.9%. Bad. Again, a little subtle spike from the 10 MA, but that can't be expected to hold. 24s look pretty easy. Hikla down 28%. Look at the spike. Look at the spike in January. Hyper spike. The bulls absolutely exhausted from the 34s. And we're already down to 17s. It's down 50% from the January spike high. 50%. Where's the next support? 10s? 9s? That's a long way down. Another 40 odd percent. Harmony. Horrible. 37% down. There's a hyper bearish engulfing candle. Look at all the other candles it takes out. Oh, it's already collapsed from 26 to 14. 12s look easy. Probably 7s. 7s are another 50% down. Momentum, okay, but here's an interesting one. Momentum will turn negative as of April the 1st. Absolutely bearish harmony. Wow. Kinross Gold. Bearish engulfing candle down 22%. Basic target 23s. Newmont, one of the best gold miners in the world. Bearish engulfing candle down 21%. You can start looking about 76s. It's another 26% or so lower. Pan American Silver, arguably the best of the silver miners. down 24.5%. Horrible. Basic target 35s or yeah, 35s. Momentum's up. Look, momentum's only just started to roll over. It could go down for many, many months. Royal Gold down 20%. Bearish engulfing candle. Just like all the others. This is our mining. Not a bearish engulfing candle, but we have a very powerful downside reversal. 17 odd percent. Momentum's just started to weaken again. Can't expect the 10 MA to hold 21s. Then we're looking at probably 17s. And wheat and precious metals, WPM, near historic high, but a massive reversal of 23.8%. Again, note the spike from the 10 MA, but I can't expect that to hold. What are we looking at here? $100 looks easy. I mean, that 54s, 54 to 50. That's 55% down. None of these stocks are bullish. They're all absolutely wrecked. And that does, I should highlight GDX before I forget. Yeah, look at this. What is this? Structure's a bear flag. On a weekly chart, we're actually net high for the week by 7%, but we've already collapsed from 117 to 78. You know, you don't go down in a straight line. You get occasional sporadic upside. Hell, maybe we'll even bounce to that in a week, but I don't know. It's not looking good. Look at the volume. High volume. People are, you know, people are selling. On a monthly chart, this looks horrific. New historic high, 117s, monstrous downside reversal. Probably going to settle them up with a bearish engulfing candle, 25.9%. Horrible. If you're not running with stops of some degree, you could get ground down all the way down to the old breakout threshold of 58-ish. This is horrible. So yeah, bearish to miners. Let's go to gold and silver. Do we care about daily charts? Not really. Let's go to monthly 1B. This is what matters. Forget about the daily and the weekly stuff. It's a lot of short-term noise. This is what matters. This is what matters. Bearish engulfing candle on gold. It is the biggest dollar drop in the history of history. And yeah, look, you have a little spike from a 10 of May. A few buyers came in. But we are down for the month by $782, 14.8%. And yeah, momentum's only just started to roll over. We could go down for a long, long way. Again, if you see the 10 of May, which has been support like, all the way along since October of 23. So if you, I mean, look, the fact that we have a bearish engulf, that's what really matters. It's a bearish engulfing candle. It's a big one. There's no reason. There's zero reason to expect that's got to hold. In which case, what's the target? What's basic? Basic target is 3,500. Nice round number there. Yeah, another $1,000 to go, minimum. And if you can assume that, I mean, depending on what the main market does, we might not be able to hold that. But yeah, 3,500 basic target. Again, the gold bugs they'll get very mad if they see me highlighting and say that they don't like me highlighting this. That's a horrible candle. It is a monstrous candle. Look at the spike there. Exhaustion spike high at 56.08. You think buying into that is a good idea, do you? Because that's what you should be asking yourself. Is this just a washout? No. This is a horrible, hopping pattern with a spike, a push back up, but then a full reversal. You take out Teneme, 3,500 is easy. Bearish gold. Silver, much the same, right? Hyper spike, exhaustion high, 121, which now looks legendary. Again, February, big rebound. But this month, poked above that high, full reversal. That is a bearish engulfing candle. That is horrible. I cannot see the Teneme holding. Basic target would be $50. Now, yeah, you gotta wonder about 34s, which of course is crazy talk. Ironically, 34s is now crazy talk. 121 wasn't crazy talk to many people out there, but that's a bearish engulfing candle. That's horrible. Absolutely horrible. I think I should just really leave it there. I mean, if that's horrible, you get back to the gold one. Look at that. Do you really think this is just a retrace? I don't. It appears now in retrospect we have an exhaustion high from January in gold, silver, and the miners, and we're done. Yep. Sure, that won't please most of you, but it is what it is. I'm going to leave it there. Bearish, gold, silver, miners.